And welcome back to Games for GMs 3. We're getting a little bit into the legwork, but as this is coming back from our first break, it's going to be a little bit of a Q&A between the GMs here that are assembled and the people that are here watching us live on Twitch. And later on, if you guys make comments in the YouTube section, I'll try and answer those questions as well. One of our Twitch channel people asked, how do you handle PvP? Do you just let it happen, and if someone dies, so be it? Or what? Personally, I have thankfully never had PvP at my table. My D&D 5th edition game has the potential to change that, but that's a different system. It is
How many
really...
people have you killed on Runner's Hub?
Killed is not PvP, sir. And the answer is 1. So, the first step when it comes to PvP is pausing the game. It's going to be one of those things like, okay, do you guys have beef or do your characters have beef? Kind of like if there's something in the air that you guys feel you want that is coming through on your table that is not actually on the table, you guys need to talk about it. We're all adults here. That is how adults handle businesses. They don't take their ball and go home. And maybe you're in a situation where somebody doesn't actually like someone, or someone is that guy, or we've all had horror stories or heard horror stories. Secondarily, ask your players out of character, how far is this going to go? Is player 1 going to actually murder player 2, or is it just one of these things where they're going to get in a fight?
But not the player, the character.
Well, it depends upon the level of your... Because if it's, if it's out of character beef, pistols at dawn solves this real quick. Don't do that, please, dear God. If I had any video editing skills, I would edit that out.
That's not on the game, Master, and that's not on the game.
This is true. So, find out of character how far they are willing to go. Because sometimes some of the best friendships in TV and movies and stuff start off adversarially. And sometimes knocking the snot out of the other guy is a great way to form an in-character bond and friendship with them. I'm going to point at Dragon Ball Z, because it does that all the time. Like, everybody on the main cast was a bad guy at one point in time. All of that stuff is tropes and happens, so find out what their intention is. If their intention is murder, that's when it becomes a little bit more difficult. But then again, is it in the situation that was alluded to earlier? My character killed another runner on the Runner Hub because the other character was... What had happened is 3 days prior, a post was made on our Jackpoint thread mentioning me, Runner A, Runner B are in a KE squad car. We're going to get arrested. 3 days later, my character ends up on a run alongside Runner B. The Jackpoint thread was public. He knows about this information. He happened to have a security procedures knowledge skill with a specialization in being arrested. If you are back out 3 days later, you have been flipped. You are now working for the corporations. As such, I can't trust you. He started off the fight, which wasn't really much of a fight. We were in the meeting room that we were doing our legwork in. He was just normal maintenance on his assault rifle. And as people were talking, he just shot him, knocking the corporate person out of unconscious in a single shot, because full auto gel rounds will do that to you. And began to go through his comlink, found in the comlink a message to corporate handler, this is our location. In which case, you're working for the corpse, and as a Shadowrunner in character, it is nearly impossible for someone to not think that you're spying on them or do not have the team's best interest at heart, because that's the way Shadowrun is designed. So if that's the reason why I'm PvPing you, because it came up and that's what my character would do, sorry, brah. That's why it's a 25-point negative quality. I've waxed poetic about that for too long. What about the rest of you guys?
Well, it's
I had the worst PvP experience of 12 plus years of gaming a couple months ago, actually. It ended up with a player being removed from our long running game and everybody trying to continue the session, uh, like shaking and ghost white. Um, do you want me to tell the story behind that or just how we dealt with it?
The relevant parts of the story and how dealing with it would be fine, because I could understand that this is obviously a very strenuous and stressful situation that you had to deal with, and I understand if you don't want to go into details.
Um, it's just a very long story, so I'll give you the cliff notes to it. New player came and played with us, and it's been all the same players for the most part for about a year now. We're excited about this guy joining, and first mission with the party, he decides to scout a mile ahead, retrieving magical reagents for a wizard. Um, and he declares he goes dark and turns off all his communication with the party, which makes us kind of wonder. He then attacked the werewolf on his own that the whole party had spent hours planning on just talking to, just a simple diplomacy mission. And so that kind of halted the session when everybody jumped up on their feet, like, what are you doing? He doesn't make it the next session, so we decide to move on that he is basically just going to be interrogated by these werewolves and nothing happens to him. We move on, we're all happy. He shows up to the third session an hour late, asks what's happening, and without saying anything to anybody, hands me an envelope with 2 pages of typed out step by step instructions on how he's going to burn all of his edge and kill the entire party. And I tell him we can't do this, so the other players start inquiring about what he wrote. And once he tells them, it turns into this giant thing where there was a moment where he wouldn't clarify whether he was planning on killing one of the players in game or out of game. It got that crazy.
wait, what?
Yeah,
Uh,
it was insane. He was never invited back again, and
With good reason.
it's now it's now a legendary story because two of the other players at my game actually run like D&D games, and the story of Jay is now spread far and wide because it was insane.
It is now immortalized on the internet as well. So how did you just ask him to not come back, or did
Well,
I imagine it was a bit of a blow up because having unclear instructions of whether you intend to kill the player or the character is a pretty big deal.
yeah, there was literal yelling at the table, and I had my head in my hands, trying to calm down two 40-plus-year-old grown men. Um, and it didn't help that his profession was being a lawyer, so all of his double speak was not helping, and that was one of the important parts of not clarifying whether he wanted to actually get physical about this or not. um,
Whew.
Basically, it just took a lot of getting everybody to calm down and moving on with the session, and then afterwards, um, just telling him that he just can't come back because the majority of the players who've been playing successfully and having a great time, dying, not dying, whatever in game, um, it just ruined the entire experience for them, and that was not okay.
Yeah, no, and that is. I give you points for totally continuing on with the session with that man present because
It
I
was very hard.
I don't think that that would have been my uh my actions in that situation. Um,
I don't think that would have been my actions either. I think he would have been out of the building and never allowed back in.
Yeah, it- I don't know what I was thinking. It was more just shot nerves at that point of just trying to
well,
move
there's
things out the
he
door.
had you at a left field disadvantage of this can't possibly be what's happening. So we're not obviously not condemning your thought processes, but
Yeah,
uh,
no, you
Yeah, yeah.
probably handled it
No,
better
no.
than we would have. You
And
definitely
really,
handled it better than I would have.
yeah, I handled it much better than one of our players who was being threatened. Let's just say that much. And really quickly, before I got to talk to him, the first email I get after the session is from him about what he wants to buy in character in between games, and it was all things that our individual players are weak against. So he was still out to kill everybody after that whole thing, which was just
And he was
ridiculous.
metagaming.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
that is
Bloody
that is
hot.
totally that guy. I'm glad that you no longer have to deal with that man.
Oh,
I'm glad I
God.
had to deal with it once though. It was a good learning experience, so to speak, and also a good story in the end. But I don't ever want to have to deal with it a second time. That's for sure.
No, nobody should have to deal with that a first time. But um, anybody else have
I
any?
have
Go
I
ahead.
have a super quick story. It's not Shadowrun based, but it's still a PvP situation that arose in a campaign I was running for Dark Heresy, second edition for anyone that cares. And basically, the Psyker had brought onto the ship a demon heart. Now in Shadowrun, it's basically like how Shadowrun works. If you've got a demon heart, then it's a metaphysical link to the creature. And then they went to somewhere where the Veil of the Warp, which is basically this game's version of Astral Space, was weak. And as such, that player was possessed by the demon host. And so basically, before session, I had basically, if this is going to happen, I just basically grabbed his character and gave some demon stats, and gave him some like claws and stuff that the demon gets, and then basically said to him, "Look, here's your new character sheet for this thing. You can use willpower checks to break out. Now the demon wants to do two things. It wants to destroy the shield generator that stops it getting out of the ship, or it's going to kill all the players so it can get out by just letting the ship run out of power. It's up to you how you roll this. Take in mind if players kill you or you kill players, it's completely fine. Are you okay with this? And he turned around and went, yeah. And he played it really well. He played like being the terrifying demon, just rampaging through the ship trying to get out. He did attack one or two players, but he kept it to a minimum because he decided, I'm not going to kill the players, I'm just going to try and get out, but if they get away, I'm going to fuck them up a bit. Oops, sorry.
You're fine. Don't worry.
And yeah, so that is how I dealt with that. To a degree, similar situation to PvP happening, but I kind of left it to the player's discretion because then he can play that creature, I guess, because it was him to a degree. So I thought it was only fair, and then left him to it.
And it makes a pretty awesome story, actually.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because when the PvP question was brought up, I went to the darker side of things, where you went the much more interesting side of things, because sometimes things you don't want to say in real life translate into things your characters do, and sometimes those things don't gel very well. Sometimes you have the chaotic evil half-orc barbarian and a party full of neutral good folks that are just going to end up with some bad things happening at some point in time, like me. But no, that actually sounds pretty cool, because one of the things in Dark Heresy, the Psychers, is, well, they have literal collateral damage happen around them fairly frequently. So it's also a matter of player buy-in. Like, got to make sure in, like, your Psyker example or my chaotic evil half-orc barbarian, that you do know, or in Shadowrun, your corporate sinner quality of, you do know if this comes up, I am not going to stop the game to save you because of in-character actions, which is a very important aspect of things.
That's what Burning Edge is for.
Well, in this situation, it's a little bit more different, because after a PvP situation has happened, if you burn edge to survive, why would my character continue to work with you after you either A, tried to kill me, or B, I tried to kill you?
Yep.
There was a second question here before we get back into it from Twitch chat the main part of the last segment was the Johnson meet and some of the legwork. So what do you keep in mind when you're planning a meet with Mr. Johnson? The location, the nature of the run are all very important to setting the scene, but what else do you all think of when giving flavor to Mr. J? There are a couple of things here. In this situation, I started off with a Matrix meet because the Johnson is literally not in town, and that sets a little bit of a theme, because you are protecting somebody's local interests while they are not around. Occasionally, I like to use matrix meats because your social adept face that has tailored pheromones 3 and a bunch of magic, that doesn't work over the internet, son. So if you ever want to like disempower a player, not something you want to do all the time, but if you want to just put him in place a little bit or throw him off his game, like, all right, we're doing a meet on the matrix. Your location that you have for your meet, being as is the first part of your run, should have a theme that is appropriate. If you are doing some lower lower security rating stuff, like maybe some intra-gang things, or maybe a more organized crime thing. Like if you're doing a job for the mafia, you better believe that you're doing, for me anyway, you're having a meet in an Italian restaurant that has a large meal prepared for you, and your meal is being comped, and there are, Knuckles and Bruno are standing by the door in their 3-piece Italian suits and dark sunglasses, saying nothing all night, because that's the theme. Because you're working for the mafia here, it's setting up the fact that you have a person who's out of town. If it's somebody that's very busy, it could also be a matrix meet. If it is a higher corp type situation, your meet's going to be in a significantly nicer restaurant, in a very busy place downtown, or in one of the nice hotels in Bellevue, something like that. But it's important to have that foundation level idea of where you're kind of getting started at, or at the very least the idea of what your Johnson wants to present to the runners. And if you guys have
on top of that, sometimes it doesn't have to be a Johnson. Like the start of my Shadowrun campaign, I'm gonna have basically the guys get a message from their contact and be like, "Hey, I know this guy needs a hand. This is where he works. Head down and have a chat with him. I'm not entirely sure what he wants." And basically, they're gonna go down to like a slum dock, and it's gonna be like the head of the dock that needs some work doing. So it doesn't always have to be this faceless dude. It can be someone that can become a contact. Because, for example, with the dock worker, he's obviously probably going to be getting some illicit goods in, and then if they go down, they decide to help him, and that, well, they get him as a contact, and now they have some kind of goods trader as a contact. So it doesn't always have to be some Johnson in meat space or in cyberspace. It can be some dude that actually works a job that just needs some guys to go do something for him.
It's very true as well. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, and another variant of the situation, it could be a fixer without a Johnson. I mean, like, he's telling you that he's got a job from some Johnson, but in the end it came up that it was his run, for example. And what I like to do with the Johnsons is to confuse my players. Like, for example, one time they met a Johnson in an Irish pub in Boston. It was, like classic red-haired dwarf, drinking lots of beer, swearing a lot, be really loud, and so on and so on. And the next day, or no, not the next day, but maybe a few days later, after they finished the run, and they went again to contact this client and found out that their client is a really rich man working in some kind of investing company, and it was all the difference because he was in a suit with a tie and with all those like manners and so on, and they would like, what? We were drinking beer with this guy. Why the hell does he look like that? So that's one of ways to make your Johnson to be fascinating for the players.
Yeah. I've had a couple occasions where you have the Johnson the Johnson is not an idiot. The Johnson does this for a living, and he knows that certain teams they don't like as technology, or they don't like Evo, or that kind of thing, and
Mhm.
they'll set themselves up to look like a different company, or they'll set themselves up to set up a team to fail. Like, oh no, that Aztec Johnson just totally tried to screw us over. Grr. But really, that Johnson works for Evo and is, well, now let's go with that Johnson works for Horizon and is trying to get that team mad at Aztec so they can hire that team on the cheap to go down to certain Amazonia regions and mess with Az technology for the next run.
How wonderfully manipulative.
Just like Horizon, too.
I don't know what you're talking about. They produce quality entertainment products. They would never do
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no Dawkins division. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, I hear the sound of a black bag being drawn over your face.
Also, another just one other way you can do Johnson is the Johnson has a Johnson who has a Johnson, and you can just make a chain of Johnsons, which
Yep.
then the players have to be like, wait a minute, who did we get this job off?
There was
Which is
a
another, that's another way you can play with Johnsons and make it interesting.
there was a couple of times I've run into the meat puppet Johnson, who is a guy who rents off his body to be used to be a Johnson. He's got like a data filter, so he doesn't remember anything that is said. He knows between the hours of X and Y he is to be at this location, and that after that time he will have Nuyen deposited in his account, and he will have no memory of what happened.
Yep.
Oh, so an erased, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you can do that with either Lay's, a Johnson that takes Lay's afterwards, or how they did it in Hong Kong, where he's got a memory thing and it just erases his memory afterwards.
Yeah, like programming for the person.
exactly.
Yep.
Oh, yes. That's kind of cool.
It's like, here's a persona fix you were to slot at this time, and after which it will self-destruct.
Yeah.
Granted, that's not something you want to do all of the time. Any of these things we kind of talked about didn't want to you don't want to do all the time because you want to kind of clue your players in on the theme of the run that you're doing without like them, I don't want to say getting metagaming, but them going like, all right, the last 3 Johnsons have totally been barflies but turned out to actually be working for a mega corporation, and we're meeting this guy in a bar, let's find out who he. You don't want to derail your game with that, but you want to make sure that each Johnson is actually an individual and interesting in their own right.
Every once in a while, you want to go the exact opposite direction of the Johnson is a housewife and her kids are missing, and she has like 3,000 new yen to pay you total.
Yeah, it's a kind of a cold-hearted bastards run and other option. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, you can always have no Johnson at all, and basically the decker just gets an encrypted data packet with a dead drop location, with a mission in it, with another encrypted data packet that gives payment when X is done. So you can even skip Johnsons depending on what your session requires.
Or it can be a shadow run that's not a shadow run. And to follow up with your No Johnson thing, Games for GMs 2 was a Death Race 2070s. It was set up
great.
as that one of the riggers contacts was like, hey, did you hear about this race? And there was going to be no Johnson with which to pay the runners. However, there was a prize pot to be won. And all you had to do was
Win.
participate in a, let's call it 100-kilometer Mad Max, no holds barred Baron's death race. Granted, you're Shadowrunner, so you totally cheated. But hey. So that seems to be all from the Twitch chat for a moment. Do you guys here have questions about other things before we get back into it?
I'll save mine one for the next time we go on break.
I will save mine for the end because it's very general.
Sure. Make sure you have
I
it
have
written
one
down
question.
somewhere. Go ahead.
I posted mine in the thread.
Go ahead.
I just have one question, just about the character I'm actually playing is all.
Sure.
He has knowledge skills, Seattle Area 3. What is that? I never looked at the Seattle X stuff.
Are you talking
So,
about like the Orc Underground or?
It says Seattle Area 3, Orc
So
Underground.
the 3 there is how many ranks you have in the skill.
Oh, right, I see. So that's right. I wasn't sure if that was Seattle area, then like 3 as in like this is
Yep, I got you.
region
This is
3 of Seattle kind of thing, or if it was it's just how the character sheet's done it. That's all. All right, I get it now.
yep, no problem.
Well, I have one question.
Sure.
And how would you handle multiple matrix characters? For example, if half of the characters are deckers and technomancers, and on the same side, what if two of them or half of the people are mages that just decide, oh, let's go on an astral quest together?
So, in a group zero, not group zero, in a session zero kind of situation, when you kind of figure out what people want to play. If they want to do a team of 4 Matrix guys and that kind of stuff, you can be 100% sure that most of your runs are going to be like deep run foundation type stuff because that is what your Shadowrun team is specialized in. It is something that you guys should discuss at character generation of, okay, what do we have here for concepts and ideas? Let's not, kind of like how I set up for the character selection for this, rather than have 3 people play Alice and 2 people play Back Alley and have clones. It's like, all right, let's differentiate this a little bit, unless what you guys want to play is a astrally oriented crazy magic fest or a deep run oriented monster of the week insanity. There's the Johnson hiring the team knows the team's strengths and weaknesses and will hire them to do jobs accordingly. They're not going to hire a Matrix-like team to do a deep run into a high corporate facility for that kind of stuff. However, occasionally...
I actually mean more in the direction of handling the game scene-wise or spotlight-wise. If you have actually half of the people doing their thing and the other half doing the other thing, if you know what I
It
mean.
means how you split between meat space, cyberspace, and astral space.
Not exactly, because that's a real common thing in
But you're
Shadowrun,
talking about
but,
like the deeper stuff, like the...
Yes. If you have actually now 2 deckers that say, okay, let's do a foundation run, while the Street Sam and the Rigger go off and do whatever.
So there's...
So
to
we used
me,
to call the pizza run.
Nah.
to me, it would be a little bit of table etiquette of, all right, I understand that you guys want to do this deep run thing to get information, but then, turn to the other side of the table, the people that wouldn't be involved. It's like, we can kind of try and work something out here, but at the same time, you don't want to exclude half of your table. In the astral situation, it can be done a little bit easier. First thing I would do is see if the people that want to do the astral quest, like, can we schedule a time between now and our next session where just the 3 of us can sit down and do this? Because otherwise, we're going to spotlight a huge amount of time during the allotted time that we have, where your mundane people can't facilitate. Secondarily, you could come up with, if one of your magicians has a bunch of bound spirits,
Yeah.
have them draw personalities for these bound spirits, give them as character sheets to the mundane players to play. Don't charge the mage like 1 service of assist me on this astral quest, and let them play as the spirits.
Another option is the metaplanar portal ability of spirits. You can literally pull someone into the metaplanes with you if you really want to.
Yes,
I
I
do
had
not
that.
recommend it.
I nearly had that come up, but yeah.
It's a super dangerous situation for people to go, especially mundanes, to go traversing the metaplanes.
But it's also really cool.
It can lead to some really cool stuff.
Well, yes, that was basically my question.
That street Sam trying to get past the watcher at the gate is always amazing.
Let me through. What are you doing here? Let me through. What are you doing here? You lost, son? But no, do you guys have other commentary on his question?
Not really, because what's been said is pretty much covered everything. The only thing I'd say is if they're doing like deep insight into like the area, I'd literally just do an entire session of them just doing recon and stuff, and then do the run next session. Because if they want to do deep walk into the area and spend hours on it, I may as well just have that as a session rather than just be like break this session up into two, because that I'm gonna have to pause at the combat or when they're getting in, or I'm gonna have to pause one part of it at some point. Why not just do one session on walking into it and then one session on combat if they want to really go that in depth?
That is something that your players may not be super excited about it, but you can always like, okay, you guys want to go on this deep run of this astral quest, and rather than like if you have say an hour before your session normally ends, just call the session early to schedule that astral thing between you and the astral players during the week sometime, so that you don't have everybody hanging around like the mundane people hanging around while you do that and that kind of stuff. My personal preference would be to stick to a more let's keep everybody involved table etiquette of not doing astral quests that are not done on non-game nights, or go with the spirit idea if it was something that like if you had a really awesome run idea that you wanted um to do it that way. The one time I there was a GM he's on the hub now as well, but he did the Gamers Tavern podcast in season 1. Towards the end there was a astral portion where Mumbo Jumbo was performed, and all of us mundanes included went to the astral to do a thing, and the GM was just like, it will run exactly as the normal meat space because that is the easiest way to do it for the mundane folks, and that is correct, because I, rather than worry about what my mana bolt looks like for somebody that's a mundane, I, in the way that makes sense to that character, would manifest a assault rifle in his hands, and his mental thought process to cause astral damage to somebody would be filtered through what that person is used to: the assault rifle, the baseball bat, the grenades, that kind of thing, and would function identically to what it is in meat space, so that this way, while you're there, your mundane folks don't feel like, well, I do nothing because I don't have spellcasting dice or astral combat. But
Another option is to literally ask the players, are you okay with just sitting there and listening to this crazy crap happen? Some people are. Like, people watching on Twitch.
Yeah, an example of that just jogged my memory. Again, jumping back to Dark Heresy, because that's one of the main games that I run as a DM. I remember once, basically one player ended up like in combat with like a tribe of orcs, and I turned around to like there was 3 other members of the party, and like this guy's just gone off on his own. I turned around to him and went, "Guys, do you want to play orcs?"
yeah,
Turned around and just went, "Do you want to play orcs?" While this guy does this, and my mate went, "Yep, I'm playing the shaman." I'm like, "Cool. Do you remember do you know base rules for Psycho?" He's like, "Yup." I'm like, "Cool." Like, what do you want to play? One of the guys is like, "I'm playing Big Dong, the tribe leader." I'm like, "Okay, you Big Dong then." One of the guys is like, I'm being Moon King from the Moon tribe." I'm like, "Okay, that's you." Right, I'm gonna play the guy who's fighting. Right, let's roleplay this. And basically, those 3 characters end up being like characters that became important to the session as NPCs later on. And this is just these guys, my players at the time, just spitballing like random names and stuff to play orcs.
there
And while while the fight was going on, like the two heads of the tribes are like throwing out big bets of like, I'll give you half of my men if the Humi wins. And the other guy's like, nah, Humi's not gonna win. I'll bet all my all my all my boys on it and stuff like that. And then started betting like teeth and stuff like that while this fight's going on and stuff, and then getting involved in the fight when like one side was losing and stuff. And it gave the players something to do while also being about the other player and what he's up to.
That's going to remind me of another tangent. Initiations are deeply personal moments that usually involve astral quests. And
Oh, yeah.
there was a podcast I listened to, The Hidden Grid, and they did a session that was one of the characters' initiations. And as he progressed through it, the other players would come in to play parts of that character's backstory and to play characters from it. So you can do something like that, similar to the orc thing, but maybe on a personal and direct level. Ask the player, what does your character think of the various players' different characters, and then have them play their characters in this astral representation of them, but seen through his eyes, and maybe take that, if like in our situation here, maybe Professor sees Mana Blitzer as just completely reckless and not taking responsibility for the power that he has. So in the Professor's initiation, we bring Bill in to play the Professor's ideal of Mana Blitzer, where he just goes crazy with the reckless irresponsibility aspect that the Professor sees in that character. Give him time to just cut loose and be completely nuts. But, so, we're going to get back into the actual game now. Hopefully you guys can come up with some more questions by the time we get to the next break. There was some sensing on the house done. The house does not seem to have anything crazy as far as wards. It has a decently taken care of lawn. It has let's say a flavor of a little bit of that Aslan spice that one might find in the Astral, alongside just your typical well-to-do home. You don't see any crazy Astral security outside of the building or anything along those lines. An orc. You're looking for Kirkland info brokers. So what kind of info are you trying to get on Kirkland through the underground? As he may be muted.
Is that Simon?
Looking for like once again, just looking for like local stuff that's been going on that might be a bit dodgy, or stuff that shouldn't be happening, like in somewhere that's like Bellevue, where it's really quite a nice area. So like looking for any shadow movements and stuff like that, just get an idea of what's going on in the area and making sure that it's not hard. It's hard to explain, but you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think I got you. So
Like shadow government stuff.
Yep. To your knowledge, you are not familiar with anything that is kind of going on. No movers and shakers have made a bunch of waves in the Kirkland area. And Professor, your oh god blood magic roll. It's got a bit of that Aslan taste to it, but you don't exactly see there's no blood spirit hanging out or anything along those lines.
Gotcha. I was hoping not, but you got to check. You got to cover all bases.
Sometimes
Paranoia is the best quality.
Right? It's a survival trait.
Yep.
I suppose that Elle will check the matrix aspect of the house when we will move into the area because of noise and all the stuff like that.
Yeah. You do have a couple of base bits of information. There are some cameras. There is a maglock front and back door. There's a which I guess you would have the the necessary codes to make an RFID tag to let you in and out, kind of like make your own key for that lock.
Yeah.
The it is also going to be most of the things in there are going to have are going to be slaves to the host of the general area, which is going to be let's call it a rating 4 host. Home area 4 host. That kind of is like your community thing. So you got what's your guys' plans?
I'm gonna poke my head inside the house and see if anything tries to bite me.
This is the house that we're doing Overwatch for.
Yes, this is the
Yeah,
house.
Yeah,
that,
but he's in Astral, so he's there when he thinks about it.
Yep.
I'm in Astro with him as well. I
Yep.
tagged along.
I'm gonna say to Mana Blitzer before I stick my head in. All right, if I come sprinting out of that house with the spirit on my ass, just run. Don't try and kill it.
Well, I won't try and bind it this time either. I got your back.
Okay.
What could possibly
my
go
head.
wrong?
Yeah.
So,
Well, before we start, I want to roll a search, a matrix search. Yeah.
yep, that's a lot of hits.
Yeah. I'm looking for rental houses or flats or whatever there is for in this area. I mean, some kind of a low profile flats or something that we can make our base of operation.
So with 7 hits, you're able to find the number for the local realtor's office that deals with the places in that area. If you wanted to call them up, you can get a little bit more detail about the houses that are available for rent.
Yeah.
But you
So. What?
do you want to call them, or do you want to?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm looking for some place to establish a base of operation, not to run from the places where we live to this area every day to day.
So you're able to find the people that that operate the rentals and the selling of houses in that area, but you don't they don't have like a listing of their available properties. It's one of those call for a consultation type situations.
Yeah, so we need to go there and see the house from the inside, like that, right?
Yeah, you can call them. With it being a nicer zone, they don't want to kind of just advertise which houses are available for squatting. That's how you keep the unwashed masses out and that kind of stuff. But you are more than welcome to be able to call them if you want.
No, okay. Before I do that, I will, like consult with my colleagues about it. So, guys, I'm trying to find a base of operation for us in this area. Like without the need to run from our homes to that house and back and forth. So, what do you think? Yes.
Sure.
There's
Professor's
a-
body twitches because he's on the astral and can't hear you.
Yeah, okay. There's a bunch of realtors in the area, so we can contact one of them and maybe take a look at what they have.
Sure, why not? Can't be too bad. Just make sure it's proper nondescript. We don't want to bring too much attention to wherever we're hiding out.
Yeah, sure. I suppose we can look for some low-profile, a house maybe or something cheap enough for us to come in and not bring a lot of suspicion with us.
Yeah,
We
sounds
could
good. You're the decker. That's your job.
Sure. Okay. Well, I will contact one of the realtors to see what they have in proposal.
So a nice female recording voice will come on, asking you to go through a couple of different menus. You'll get eventually to the area that you're looking for, and a man's voice will come on with a, "Hello, this is Richard. How can I help you today?"
Hello, name's Albert. I've been thinking to find a house in this sweet area of yours, and was looking forward for your propositions, for example.
Oh, that is wonderful. The Kirkland area is a prime bit of real estate with a nice selection of wonderful houses. Let me just do a quick look here, and the exaggerated sound of tapping on keyboards that don't exist will come across the headset. So I have a appointment tomorrow night at about 2 p.m. in the afternoon that I could show you to a house if you like. Let me see here. Yes, it'll be, and he'll give you an address that is about 2 blocks away from where your target's address is.
Uh-huh.
So this is the address. It should be available at the end of the month is when the official lease is over, but I'm allowed to show it now. It is currently still has some of the furniture and belongings of the current occupants.
Mm-hmm.
But if
But
you
they
like, I
are
can go ahead.
they are out, right?
They are in the process of moving out to one of our much more well-to-do areas. The owner seems to have gotten a promotion at work, and he sounds very proud of himself as he says that. However, that is part of the scheduling is that tomorrow at 2 o'clock the current owners of said house will not be there, and I am crap, I forgot the word.
Okay, Richard. It's worth a look. So let's pinpoint tomorrow, 2 p.m. You said?
Yes.
Yeah, good. It's good for me. Works for me. Okay, so if you can send me an address, I will be there to meet you and to see what we have.
Excellent. I will look forward to it tomorrow at 2 o'clock, Albert.
Yep. Thank you.
So on the astral, you kind of fly your head through there real quick. If you want to roll a quick sensing on the inside, and we'll see how much of how much information you get. You guys can both do it if you're both going in, or
Well, I told him not to, so he's obviously going to.
that is profiling of a. All right, never mind. Whew. Okay. So just kind of giving it a quick look around the area, you will spot that the 3 astral signatures are here, matching the general size of the 3 people that you are to look after. They seem to be in the kitchen. The middle-sized one looks a little upset. They're kind of like looking over the dining room table as words fail me yet again. Looks like they're maybe doing homework. The smaller astral signature seems a little bit more in a good mood. Who knows what they are doing? The housekeeper is kind of going around. She has a bit of cyberware, mostly headwear. There is a bit of I forget whether or not you have a relevant knowledge type skills. Yes, you do have cyber technology. Excellent. So it looks like eyes, ears, a data jack, maybe an implanted comlink. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe some other piece of headwear. Maybe it's a kink bomb for when she disobeys master's words. And just a little bit of light essence loss across the entirety of her body. Maybe a beautification treatment or something along those lines.
Whoops. Awesome. All right. I will get out of there before something notices me and tries to murder me.
Whoops.
I will return to my body at the speed of thought, giving Mana Blitzer a high five on the way out, saying we're good.
I sideswipe that high five and run my fingers through my astral hair.
You diss him. He's like, nope, too slow. What a douche.
What a douche. That's fine. I'll get back later.
I come
I'll
back
get
to my
back
body
later.
with a big smile.
Got him.
The annoyance is that because we met up in the Matrix and then astrally, I'm not near him, so I can't cast fucking ice sheet under him and laugh.
Um, so now you guys have almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What is it that you guys would like to do?
Did we get the comlink number for the housekeeper?
Yes, that would be
Yep.
in the information. You would have their assigned comm links.
Awesome. All right, so I have a plan, but we need to figure out what everybody's gonna do in this plan.
Okay,
I
so
figure we can be
Uh,
tutors.
Egran's like all up for that idea. He says I can pose as an instructor that's
Yeah.
being sent.
All right. Well, I'm a broke college kid, so me tutoring some kid that's kind of magically active in the ways of magic and magic theory and stuff kind of makes sense.
yeah, but remember that our clientele told us that he doesn't want his kid to grow up as a magician, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I never said that.
I think he said he didn't want him to squander his talent.
Yeah, squander. So
Yeah.
in teaching
Yeah.
him how to use it wouldn't be squandering.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, did my 5 hits tell me his magic potential at all?
So I have no idea how actually testing things for magical potential works. At least as far as lore goes. Roy would be moderately familiar with those procedures, so he would
Yep,
probably. Go ahead.
I think it starts at like age 10, and they do it like once a year at the school.
Yeah, but as to
I
what
remember
those tests actually entail, I do not know.
Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, 5 hits on a sensing test.
He's
is his
not a
magic higher or
technomancer.
lower? Excellent. Is his magic higher or lower than my 6?
I was under the impression you don't see any like magic within a person until they actually awaken, and as he is not
Oh, so
officially.
it's not even actually awakened yet. Okay. Gotcha.
So okay, it's almost time for us to leave this place, and I suppose we have to meet somewhere in the, meet world.
I vote we find the stuffer shack nearest to that place and meet up there.
Well, that could be.
Sounds
could work.
good.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm sure.
Okay. I'd like to know one little thing, and that's, will law enforcement go crazy if a person with criminal sin walks around there?
So it really depends upon what you're doing. If you're just walking around, you may or may not get followed by a cruiser for a less than comfortable amount of time. However, I do believe you have a fake sin that is in good standing.
I should?
Yes, you have a rating 4, and
Yeah.
you can easily like leave your criminal sin, aka running, at your home. Just like leave it there. Maybe come back and check on it once a day or so to see if you've gotten any messages.
I guess it's on the comlink and not implanted.
Yeah, because
Okay,
it's
that's
one of the,
everything I want to know.
yeah. You can definitely stash it there. You'll probably have to go back and check on it every once in a while, but
And move it for a few centimeters.
Yep. Well, I've heard the best way to do it is you attach it to your cat, because then it just moves around the house all the time.
except for the long periods where the cat is sleeping. But yes,
But
Well, you
however,
sit on a
that
couch.
that means I can just leave that behind. I should have asked that beforehand, but
nah, you're good.
yeah. In that case, I'd just say, grab another comlink and, well, move to that stuffer shack. Was it?
That was the place where you guys were going to meet up.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's it's basically the 6th floor from McDonald's.
Oh, that's McHugh's. I mean, we could meet at the McHugh's. We could all probably use some food. It's like 4 o'clock. Yeah, let's meet at the McHugh's. This is a better idea.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, Rob, I just noticed funny thing. I have a fake scene on second name is Veracruz, so it's kind of sounds like has technology, and
Well, there you go.
I suppose that I might wanna find a license, fake license for this scene, like freelance spider or something.
A matrix security specialist.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. If I have enough.
Uh, yeah, no, you can just buy that. That's something that's somewhere along the lines, something that they would have probably picked up. And I will
Nope.
vaguely fail at trying to remember to add that to their sheet afterwards. Um, so the McHughes it's actually a very nice and clean McHughes. Air quotes recently remodeled, but it is still a McHughes, and it still has the wonderful menu selection that those of you with low lifestyles are very familiar with.
Are we talking actual people at the counter, or is it still the touchscreen displays?
It is both for your ordering convenience.
Oh man, this is the nice McHughes.
Is there any cubes around?
Roll me some edge real quick. We'll see what happens. I don't remember how many edge he has.
How does edge work again?
You just roll 2d6, greater than 5. Let's see how many hits you get.
Okay.
Oh boy.
No, he's fine. So it is just a human who is working the counter. He's just kind of, hi, how can I help you? And very, very corporately trained for dealing with trolls on how they can assist you if you wish. But you do not see any Keeb employees. There may be one or two that is actually here as a patron, but they seem to be off in the corner, kind of keeping to themselves.
Cool. Yeah, it'll just go up to the human, just order, just a burger and a drink.
And he'll, of course, place the troll-sized order for you, as per, your enormous frame. Yeah, no, you guys can get some McHughes, and you can you can begin your
All right,
plotting.
so we all sit down. I confiscate the biggest corner booth with troll-sized accommodation. All right, so we need to plan for this wonderful job.
Well, I thought
So-
I may get in there as some kind of housekeeping assistant.
Egran turns around and says, guys, Decker, set up a quick room. Let's not do this in meat space.
Why not?
Because
Thought
there's
this-
cameras.
I thought
Right. You don't have a noise generator.
I thought that's what DNI is for.
Yeah,
Oh,
you guys will have a
Yeah,
DNI
it's-
call.
Sub vocals or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are able to covertly have a conversation in the middle of the McHughes while you eat your soy burger.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was aiming at.
So okay, for tomorrow I have a appointment with a realtor about a house that is 2 blocks away from our target. I suppose that I will meet with him, try to see if we can rent it to make a base of operations for us.
Oh, just
Like
for
that.
like a week? Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, if depending on how much it is, we might just want to grab a used storage box and just work out of there.
Oh yeah, we could get one of those shipping container things that they park outside of people's houses when they move.
Do you really
Yeah.
think that they will tolerate the shipping container in?
Oh well, walk in and out of a building every once in a while, carry a couch.
Yeah, and bring it back.
I hear that trolls are great for moving.
Yeah, we there is a fair few within that profession.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Yeah, we might have to move it every other day, but we got a couple block radius.
Yeah, okay.
It won't draw any suspicious attention. No, no. That's probably not that greatest idea we've ever had.
Hey, I'm not the brain of the group.
Yeah, well, that's yeah, okay. So I suppose we could just be brutally honest with the housekeeper and just be like, "Hey, listen, your boss hired us to, keep an eye on things. We'll be around. Here's our numbers. You see anything funny, give us a call. But otherwise, we're gonna try and stay out of the way."
How do we know that that's her boss? He might be a second or third party to whoever she works for.
It doesn't matter. We can just tell her that we are paid to make them safe. So it doesn't matter who paid us until we are making them safe.
I mean, we can just kind of be like Mr. Escobar. I assume that's his last name, unless the kids kept their mother's, who is mysteriously out of the picture.
Um,
How
Oh.
hard would it be to get enrolled in this school? I could keep a very good eye on that kid. On the
Oh man,
14-year-old.
you're right.
That, yeah, that's a good point.
That's a thought I hadn't had.
I could make him my friend.
Hey, Alice, can you? I mean, Al. God damn, I'm gonna do that all night.
Forget about it.
Al, how hard would it be to add a transfer student into that system?
Well, I could try. It's not like it's high tech host. I mean, I can try. Why not? Yeah, and then another idea is to for me to like pretend of a freelance spider to work in a school as well. Might
Yeah,
be.
that's an option.
Well, I'd rather have someone there in the house 24/7, just because. Like I said, I'd just go there and pretend for the kids to be the new household assistants.
Why not? Why
I
not?
mean, I would rather be really open with the actual housekeeper.
We could have you do that, Ali, and that way you're on the inside with the caretaker and the kids. We have possibly Professor and Mana Blitzer inside the school, and then I can
The other
work
option on
out where
that,
to go from there.
the other option on that is we can get Mana Blitzer inside the school, and then I can just do Astral Overwatch on the house all the time, just to make sure, you know, nobody decides to send a bunch of blood spirits after the house.
Yeah, I suppose. Uh, and I,
Um,
will-
Do that
yeah, and I will
rigorous
say,
man thing.
super quick question.
Yep.
Nope.
How common like knowledge of spirits? Is it common knowledge or is it like kind of kept under wraps? I always forget.
So magic is something that you all definitely know of, given as you are Shadowrunners, you're more familiar with how magic actually works rather than how things are portrayed. So dependent upon which aspect of such stuff, it will depend upon how much of it is common knowledge and how much of it would be
Stuff like watcher spirits and stuff like that.
You would be familiar with the existence of Watcher spirits, not necessarily their full capabilities.
Yeah,
As a,
I wouldn't know how they work, but I know of them. Yeah,
yes.
that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yep.
Well, Egron suggests to Professor that does he have any watcher spirits to put around the house?
Watcher spirits are a ritual magic, and I am not so great at that. But I could just summon a normal spirit twice a day and have one hang out.
Yeah, because that way you're available as outside of astral space, just in case.
Yeah, and I'm a fairly intelligent person. I could definitely help the kids out with their homework since the 14-year-old seems to be having some issues with it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, to keep stress off you, Professor Blitzer, would you be able to put any warding around the house? Just like basic warding?
sadly, in 5th edition, warding is a ritual now.
Yep.
You could set up a temporary lodge.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, that's changed. All right, fair
yeah.
enough.
It's a ritual now, unfortunately. Um, you could, however, set up temporary lodges, which would take a couple of hours to do, but would give you a sort of mana barriered area, but it is not a.
Yeah,
Real mana barrier.
but a lodge also links directly to them metaphysically. So that's
Yes,
probably
but
getting.
but
I
if you
wouldn't know
wanted
that, but
to,
out of character, they just on the side that they probably wouldn't want to have a link to themselves near the house.
that is also potentially true. But if your intention was to set up a small room to be like maybe their bedrooms or something like that that you wanted to be shielded from the astral overnight, you could do that.
No, you can just cast a mana barrier.
You can't.
So the mana barrier spell you could, but that is something that is a sustained spell. So when the mage went to sleep, the spell would disappear. A ward, which is the ritual version, is the one that lasts for until its duration is
X
up.
days.
Wait a second, you can ask a spirit to sustain a spell for you.
Yes, but that's
Yes.
then going to depend upon because spirits will last. The ones that aren't bound will last until sunrise or sunset, at which point they will poof, taking
Okay, so
said spell with.
I'm going to make this even easier. I don't have mana barrier.
There's also the lack of the spell, but
Yeah, I don't have
Yes.
a spell either.
Always.
hey, you've got catalog now, though.
Yep. Catalog is a very useful spell.
Yeah, you can know where the pen is.
But yeah, no,
To write
that
down mana barrier spell.
that is part of where the rolling karma and Nuyen from these games will go to improve these characters for the next time, and maybe the person who plays Mana Blitzer or Professor will pick up the mana barrier spell or have it strongly suggested to them.
Okay, so basically we have ourselves a plan. I will try to move our Mana Blitzer into school, like a new student, right? Professor and Bekele will try to infiltrate the house, I suppose, with direct confrontation with the housekeeper. Not the confrontation, but direct approach to
I
the
like the idea of
housekeeper.
confrontating the housekeeper. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't like her headwear.
Just going to knock on the door and say, Sarah Connor.
Yeah,
See this
with a
boy.
shotgun and a leather jacket style.
What could go wrong?
Technically, he had the deagle for that scene.
And I will try to rent us a base of operation and to establish some work area in there for myself and to, monitor the metrics and all those, their comlinks and stuff, like to protect it. But I think there's might be a chance for me to, make a pen with their comlinks.
Yep. After you talk to them, you could probably get them to slave their comlinks to your equipment, so that if somebody
Yeah,
does something, but that
Yes.
involves talking to them first.
Thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
All right, so whatever we're doing, the first thing we need to do is go talk to them. So we should probably just go do that before it becomes too late in the evening.
So you really think that what time is it now? And I have a perfect time, so
It's between 4:30, 5 o'clock. Depends upon how long you guys are going to take to scarf down your McHughes and how much time you want to sit around there planning. But it can be anywhere in that time area or later if you like.
And how many pickles are in the back room there?
34
Ah, excellent.
jars. They stockpile because there needs to be the requisite corporate amount of pickles.
All right.
No, I think that it's a little bit later than that because we had to get to this place first of all, and we spent some time already in there, so it might be 5 or 6 p.m. already, I think.
Yeah.
If you're, yeah, I'm happy to have the time before 6 p.m. or something.
Yeah, even if it's then, this is we can probably still give the house lady a call because a 14-year-old probably doesn't go to bed until like 10 or 11 because he's doing that teenage rebellion thing, and the 8-year-old might be asleep
Yeah, okay,
at like
so
8, but depends. When do they go to school in the morning? Do we know that?
You would
what
have
We do.
their time. It's, let's say classes start at like homeroom or your be here by time is 7:30 in the morning.
So they probably get up at like 6:37, maybe 6 at the earliest,
Ish.
depending on if
What
they do their stuff at night or in the morning.
do we know what time is it? I mean, what day is it?
Sunday, right?
Let's say that it's Sunday, so that
From,
you're hired to start as of officially tomorrow.
yeah, from the beginning of the week. I got it.
So, important question: does anybody own a car?
A couple of
Yup.
people own cars, I think.
And
I do.
Grand owns a Toyota Gopher.
There we go. Driving to school in style.
Yeah, on the.
Mana Blitzer has a car. How does that make you
Yeah, I
feel?
have a. I'm looking for.
It's a Jackrabbit.
Oh, the Jackrabbit. That's right.
That could be a problem.
The tiniest of cars.
Yes.
No, he's a punk
Got
ass
a loud
kid.
stereo though.
Mad pimpin' stereo.
That's right.
But we can rent something. I mean, like something like a van or.
You have enough transportation to cover you guys because the Gopher can fit like 4, and the Jackrabbit can fit 2. I wanted to say
Yep,
somebody else
and
had a car.
Yeah,
The
okay.
kids probably have, what do you call it? The housekeeper probably has a ride that she drives the kids to school in or something.
Mhm.
If she drives the kids to school, I don't know if they get picked up by a bus.
She drives. That's in the itinerary.
Excellent.
Good.
Yeah. So she probably has a fairly nice car. One of those.
Okay, so who's gonna give a call to a housekeeper?
Wasn't the plan being Professor and Alice?
Yeah. It's always a guy with 2 charisma. Okay, yeah, I'll give the housekeeper a call.
No, I mean I have some charisma, but I have nerd rage. So I don't really want to fail on those social tests.
Yep.
with
I'll give the
with a housekeeper.
Yeah, unless England really needs to, he's not going to talk to a keep.
Poor Keeps.
Yep, I will totally handle this call then, seeing as I look around the table and realize that, oh God, what have I done? I should have called somebody else.
It's like once
and
again
it's
I'm.
Go get it, champ.
So
Focus.
as you make the call, it will ring for a moment and then it will be answered and you will be slammed in the proverbial face with a whole bunch of Spanglish.
Oh boy,
Oh,
I do not speak. Oh boy. So I will say, hello. Hi, how are you? Please tell me you
Hola.
speak. Hi, hola, chica. Hi. That's about the extent of
Spanglish, boom.
Spanish I know. Oh crap. I'm gonna put my hand over the complex microphone. Does anybody here speak Spanish?
You can hear
And we'll
some loud Spanglish come out of the speaker as you're asking everybody.
Yes. Hold on a second. Anybody?
no, don't.
England just like shrugs his shoulders and says, "Decker, do you have anything to translate?"
Well, I can look for a skill soft, but does
I
anyone
speak-
here have
I
a
speak
skill soft?
Orzet, that's basically the same.
Oh god, I just noticed Back Alley also has Orzet. Man, she and Ingrid totally hang out. That's great because it's so accidental.
Oh boy.
So, you guys will look around at each other, confused for a moment, and then some. Well, let me just make a roll. Let's see how well this goes.
What can we roll?
Okay, so
English.
in small English words, but still in English words, you'll get. And I'm going to apologize to everybody, not just those of us here that you speak English as a second language. Hello? Who this?
Ah, hello, Miss. Miss Aridano.
See?
Danto? Excellent. This is Mr. What is my fake runner sin name? It does not on the list. Well,
You can make it whatever it is. Just write it down on the table, and I'll update the sheet later.
Mr. Earp, obviously. All right. This is Mr. Earp. I and my associates have been contracted by Mr. Escobar for the week.
Oh man, I want you to roll some kind of something
It's
here.
gonna be one dice.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Just for giggles.
Wait. I got 3 edge.
You got 3 edge and multiple days.
Yep. 3, 4, so that's 46. Yeah, I'm sticking that on the front.
Excellent. So with 2 hits,
2 hits.
she goes,
Every time I talk to her.
oh, you here to fix things. Good.
Yeah, we're actually here to make sure things go excellent this week.
Things be good. Yes. Come, many
Yes,
fix.
Many fix. Excellent. Well, would you like us to come over today or first thing tomorrow?
Many fix.
Many fix. Okay, yes, we'll be right over. And then I hang up and hit my head on the table and go, "Oh, this is gonna be grand."
Oh, well.
What kind of fixing was she talking about?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
does she mean fixes or does she mean actual faults?
Who
Fixing.
knows?
Either way, I'm gonna stop at the Stuffer Shack on the way over and pick up a dose of long haul, just in case.
Not a problem.
Sure, in the stuffer shack. All over the shop.
Yep. My long haul's like $50, so it's not even a problem.
Well,
Right.
let's look at the bright side. She does not oppose us, and she does not actually want us out of the hose.
Yep.
No, it's
Um,
like asking around on all of us, trying to imagine what will be the reaction if he will open the door and see. Okay, so we have a dwarf, we have a troll, right? And 2 humans, if I'm not mistaken. Do we
Yeah.
have
so
do we have elves? in
3
the-
humans. It's 3 humans, a
Uh-huh.
dwarf, and a troll.
Yeah.
Bad jokes start off this way.
Yeah.
Yo.
Well, that's exactly my thought.
You forgot the racist troll.
Well, I didn't want to judge him for being racist. Being racist is fine.
Oh yeah, of course, in Shadowrun, but he's racist to elves.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
you guys will kind of drive over into the area. It is the only thing that's missing is the pet and the white picket fence from how perfect this community is and everything you have seen in on the trids. Most of the houses look exactly the same. A couple of them will have, like, this one has a deck or this one has a pool in the backyard, but for them, their general layout is the same as a corporate mass-produced dwelling.
I guess Ingrid is probably driving since he's got the one with 4 seats.
Probably, and Mana Blitzer is probably taking his Jackrabbit, or he could be squishing in to ride bitch. That is up to him. As he debates furiously or is muted, one or the other. So
Either way, we all get there.
yes, it's in an upper middle class like lifestyle area, not quite a high lifestyle, but you do see a knight errant cruiser driving around the area. But that is, in an A rating, not exactly something that is out of place.
Give a glance to back alley and go, you got that shut off, right?
What do you mean?
The thing?
your black mark.
Yeah. I guess the cat is still busy with it.
Excellent.
Good.
So, you guys are standing outside the house. What would you like to do?
Well,
Ingrid is just like Simon Cow, like, I'm not talking to no keep.
That's fine. You wait here. I'm gonna go talk to her and see what she needs fixing with finger air quotes.
So you're gonna. Is it just you that's wandering up to the front door, or is anybody else coming with you?
I'll just go with him.
okay.
Was there any progress on getting Mana Blitzer into the school?
Nothing was done towards doing that yet.
And
Everybody
not
just.
yet.
We kind of decided on going and talking to the. All right, we'll just kind
I'm
of.
just wondering if they're gonna be weird about a 16-year-old kid showing up with all these patrol and everything.
Adults.
Yeah.
Well, trolls don't live all that long.
About 60 years or
On
so.
helmets, but- Yeah, orcs
So-
only live like what, 45, 50?
40, yeah, ish. So there are cameras all over the place because this is a raiding zone. There is on your particular house. It looks like there are 1 or 2 extra cameras.
Mhm.
What else are you interested in finding besides the obvious things of white picket, white picket fences and other?
No, like any scanners or something like that. Maybe additional maglogs that are working in sound runs or something like that. And bunch of suspicious electronic devices that are not usually here or
You-
should be here.
You don't see anything suspicious. Everything seems fairly normal. There's your front door maglock. Your driveways have space for 2 cars. The house that you are at only has 1 car in it. It is an Americar.
Mhm.
The neighboring houses, most of them have nice to very nice cars in them, as in the fact that they are newer models. They're not like the 2055 Americar. They're like the 2069. So they're only like 10 or less years out of date. Oh, I forgot it's 2078. Apologies. So they're like the 2070s versions of Americars, not the older ones. Most of the ones seem fairly nicely groomed. There is a couple of people you see coming home, and it is idyllic UCAS areas. With your parabotany, you don't notice anything that is a crazy eat you tree or anything like that. And really, it just seems like fairly normal. Let's add a little bit of color to the grounds of our individual houses, to our individual flavors. But most of the botany stuff is pretty nice in a generic, normal sort of way.
Okay, so no human eating plants in here.
No.
I don't see anybody just like kind of staring at our group of not obviously Shadowrunners standing outside this house, do I?
No, I'm sitting in the car, actually.
So-
I don't see the point for us all to stand on the ground and hey,
True.
look at that.
There are a couple of people that are looking, but not like openly staring, like I am recording them kind of thing. It's like, what's going on over
Yeah,
there?
so
There's that kind of
They
thing. But
they just saw.
it's like, oh well. Oh
Yeah,
look,
they just saw massive off-roader pull up and just one intelligent-looking dude just walk out.
Yeah.
funny. That's not the Escobar's car. I wonder who's coming over for dinner tonight. But I believe Professor, and is anybody else coming up to the front door?
Yeah, back alley.
Yeah, I said I'll go with him.
Okay. So the two of you guys will kind of stroll up, and you will hear, just like the trio going on inside as you knock upon the door. You'll hear something in
English or Spanish Tridio?
Spanish.
Oh God.
England keeps the engine running just in case.
Just in case you have to peel out of here. Nope. So a moment or so after you knock will go by, you'll hear something in Spanish yell out to you that you don't really understand. And then a that perfect forever 23 young elven woman will open a door. She has a Latino slash Hispanic descent going on, and she is going to begin with some Spanish to speak at you.
Nah, we don't understand a word you're saying. Uh, you speak in English?
I speak good English.
No hablo español.
No.
Perfect.
Yep. We're the people that
Fix,
Mr.
fix,
Escobar
yes,
hired.
yes. And she will kind of grab for your hand to pull you inside.
I will let her pull me inside.
She's
Yeah,
just going to
that's
bring you
not
into the kitchen. If you want to give me a perception test to see what you can see as you're going around in back alley, the door is left open for you if you wish to enter.
Okay, I'll follow.
Okay.
And yeah.
So, in the process of dragging you to the kitchen, you will be pulled past the Trid, which is playing a Carl Combat Mage movie in Spanish.
Yes.
There is a young boy who is sitting there, obviously Hispanic descent. His hair is not necessarily unkept, but that intentionally unkept of the rebellious teenager. You don't see the daughter anywhere, but you are dragged into the kitchen, and she kind of stops in front of the sink and begins to spout Spanish at you.
I will turn the sink on and see if it sprays water everywhere.
Can you just roll edge real quick? Because while I had an idea, I feel like that is a much better idea.
No hits.
No hit, okay, but no horrible glitches. So the water will come on and it sounds kind of normal, and then she'll like shake her head and give a whole bunch of Spanish and slam it down and kind of open the door underneath of it and point to where one of the pipes is dripping into a bucket.
I'll go, oh, all right. And I'll look at how far behind me did back alley follow.
I'm pretty much right behind you.
Excellent. You know anything about fixing pipes by any chance?
Well, not a little thing.
I wonder if pipes can be fixed with hardware.
Well,
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I would assume it's mechanical,
It's
whatever
more
it's called. But
armor, maybe.
I have
I
no
guess you can
plumbing.
step.
I have no
I
plumbing knowledge,
guess.
and I am fairly confident that I could fix a leaky pipe. Maybe not properly, but could fix it. So I'm going to assume that the guy with
I
Logic 6 could do it. Go ahead.
yeah, hey, you know what? Let me find something out here. Roll 5d6 and 5.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the street suck with Logic 2 can't.
Ignoring also your uneducated aspect of things.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna get down on my knees and look under the sink and look for where the obvious leak is coming from.
yeah, so you're able to easily find the lake, and while you may not know whether or not it'll actually solve the problem, but you could go down to the hardware store and get some putty or something and slap it on there. It'll be good.
I will take a piece of gum out of my mouth and stick it to it for the moment. And go, I'll fix it better later.
Yeah, it's a situation where you call your tech guy and say, "Hey, tech guy, you are a tech guy. Come on and do your tech."
She is smarter, or Al is smarter than you.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
I'll pop over to my comlink and go, hey, Al, and I'll take a picture with my comlink. You know how to fix this?
I'm sure doing it every day.
I think I deny to him we should just, well, clear this up. We're not the people to, well, do their work.
Gee, so what the hell is happening there? Why are you sending me pictures of pipe or something? I really don't.
We're now part-time plumbers.
Apparently.
Oh, okay. So
I
this,
figured if we started off on a good foot, we'd be able to, you know.
yeah. So
Mr.
you are,
Escobar sent us to help for the week because he's gone for the week, and he thought that she could use a little extra help
yeah, with plumbing.
Well,
with
okay.
everything.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
guessing this is over like our local private com.
Yep.
Yes.
This is us trying to get in good with the housekeeper so that we can, you know, be helpful for the week and keep an eye on things while being helpful.
Okay,
She's
so
got a laundry list of chores for you guys.
Yep. I mean, if we really wanted, we could tell her he's given her the week off, and we could just be the housekeepers for a week.
yeah. So
It
he
sounds
was
like a
gonna.
horrible idea after I say it, but you know.
Engren just like comes over, comes, goes, "Do you speak Spanglish? Because I don't."
So in
So,
the kids' profiles, does it say they actually speak English?
I don't know. Give me a sec.
So I don't think that kind of thing would be like language proficiencies would be in there. I don't feel like that's a thing that uh, would be listed.
No. A better question, as a scholar myself, do they have English classes on their class schedules?
Yes.
Or
Or you
Yes.
know, I'll
Oh.
just turn to the boy and say, "Yo, you speak English?"
So you'll hear the Tridio pause for a moment. He's gonna look up at you. He's gonna say "frag off" and turn his trid back on.
Oh, he's fluent.
Yes.
Well, that's a good news. Okay, so Igrand, have you got any tools in your car?
I don't know because I don't have my car's inventory actually.
I mean, there might be any basic tools like, you know, a wrench or something like that.
There's let me take a quick look at your character. You probably can have something that can work. I'm not actually going to ask for a yeah, you guys have survival kits. There's probably something you could work into tools there. Like
Yeah.
I imagine like a
Cool.
like a pocket knife or a Swiss Army knife or a Leatherman would be in there. That's what I would put in a survival kit because those things are super useful. It's a big surprise.
I mean, I have a built-in hardware toolkit, but I don't think that there will be something useful in this.
Yeah, nah, you could. That'll total
That's more
between the two of them. You're easily able to. I'm not even going to ask you for a roll. You have like a bunch of ranks in armor and hardware and chemistry, and yeah, no, this is literal child's play for you.
Oh, okay. So I'm taking everything that I could find to help us. Like maybe there is a roll of a duct tape and something,
Yep.
and walk into a house. Like, hello, anybody needs a plumber? If you look at my picture in roll 20, you can see that he's kind of look like a Mario.
It's a me.
Nice.
So yeah, you can. You'll easily be able to find them in the house. Do you try to interact
Okay.
with the child, or do you just kind of go on about your day?
If I can come in with you as some sort of like a under the guise of being an apprentice, I would like to try and talk to the child.
Sure.
Really?
Unless-
I want to use.
Go ahead.
I have a Tridio knowledge, and I want to try and bond with him over what he's watching, especially if it's a Carl Combat Mage Tridio.
Go for it.
That's a good idea. And I was thinking that when I come in, I will like, you know, put aside our professor from the pipes and say, "Let me take handle of it," and you do the talking or something like that. So I'm just down there with the pipes and trying to fix them with the armor skill.
Yep.
Okay. Give me a second.
So with 5 hits on your Carl Combat Mage, you want to throw some flavor on the specific episode of Carl Combat Mage you guys are watching?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll approach him and say, "Oh, I've seen this one before. This is a great one. This is where Carl Combat Mage comes up against that giant blood spirit, right?"
He'll do the 14-year-old head toss of I'm awesome, and kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, the outcome of this was incredible. Don't let me spoil it for you. Have you seen this one already?
And he'll kind of no, I haven't. Dad doesn't like the portrayal of our people on public television, so he doesn't let me watch it. But he's not here now, so he won't find out.
Yeah, my dad's kind of a jerk too. He doesn't let me watch it much either. But I had a friend give me a data file that's just I have all the Carl Combat Mages hidden from my dad. I can watch them at any time.
So his eyes start to get really big, and like he gives you the half scooch over so that there's room on the couch, because obviously when you're a rebellious 14-year-old, you sit in the direct middle of the couch, taking up as much room as possible.
Absolutely. So using my DNI, I will say, hey, does anybody have a good link on where I can get pirated versions of Carl Combat Mage?
Real
I
right
assume-
now.
I would
Hey.
assume, given your 11 dice in Color Combat Mage knowledge, you already have it.
Okay.
Also fairly possible.
This few series.
Great. They'll say, well, as long as you don't get any trouble with your dad, I can help you out with this. Which episode would you like to watch? I have all of them.
It's like, oh, let's finish this one, and then we'll get into the next, and we'll see where that goes. So you will.
Sounds good to me. I can sit here and watch them all day. And my intention here is just to hang out with him while the rest of the group is doing their thing, and just kind of.
They're doing boring adult stuff, and you're
trust.
going to get to watch some Carl Combat Mage with a fellow fan, and it's going to
Sounds
be awesome.
great to me.
Al, you're
Things I would like to the few things I would like to find out from him are like what classes he's taking, and what teachers he's taking them with, so when I do try and apply, I can have a little more structured way to get in.
so yeah, sure. If you want to throw me some con dice, I guess, or let me take a quick look and see, or your street etiquette would work, I guess, or basically anything you have that you feel like you could throw into details. That would. I don't like necessarily to tell my players what dice to.
Yeah, I'll go with the con roll. It has the fast talking ability. I'm just gonna, like any 6-year-old kid, just kind of steamroll him with questions and answers at the same time and see what I get out of con. So let's see here.
Yep. And you are successfully easily able to armor the pipes. She does a happy little bounce and hammer and clap her hands together, and then we'll kind of stick her hand onto Al's shoulder and be like, "Come, more things."
Oh, show them to me then.
Yep, and she will. If you don't have anything else you want to do, she will drag you all over the house, fixing pipes and other small things of.
Well, that's
Give me
actually a good idea because we can actually look at the layout of the house and
It is
look
like
what
the.
entrance
Yeah, she'll get us
points
everywhere in
there
that
are.
house.
And while I'm doing so, I'm looking precisely for any data cables that running through the house, because I have some data tabs that I can place there, so there will be an easy access point for me.
Sure, you can stick one basically wherever you want, because she's going to take you all over the house doing some of the most ridiculously menial handyman stuff, like replacing a light bulb, or this door handle is jiggly, or all kinds of stuff like that.
Okay, so as long I mean, um, when I pass any data cable that seems appropriate to place it, I will do it. So like that.
Meanwhile, over at the Super Stuffer Shack, you're looking around to try and find your tools, and a young elven man in a Stuffer Shack colored apron was going to come up to Ingrid. Hello, sir. Can I help you find anything?
As he turns around to me and like says that, I'm just gonna go fuck off, frag off, Keeb. Find me a Hume.
And he's gonna have that look as though you just shot him square in the chest. And he's gonna stare there and blink for a moment. He's like, "Yes, sir," and kind of turn and walk away from you. A minute or two later, an older, balding human is going to come up to you. If you care to look, you will notice that his name tag says manager underneath of it. Hello, sir. Can I help you with anything today?
Yeah, Chuma. I'm gonna need a Spanish cleaning soft if you've got any about. I'm gonna need a bunch of basic tools for household repair.
Yes, very good. Right this way, and he'll take you to one of the aisles, and they'll be able to get you like an industrial mechanic tool kit, essentially, and a linguisoft, if you like.
Other than telling like the Keeb to frag off, I don't really cause any commotion and just grab the stuff I need and jump back in the gopher.
So as you walk by to leave, out of the corner of your eye, you'll see like the door to the manager's office is open, and the Keeb is sitting in there, and he's kind of like looking a little upset in one of the chairs inside the office. But the manager was the one that tendered out your transaction and that kind of stuff. But you have successfully ruined that teenage Keeb's day.
Good.
Good work.
You're
I
doing.
walk out the store with a smile on my face.
Professor and Back Alley, what do you guys want to do while Al is performing home repairs and you are left alone in the house?
Well, I was actually about to walk behind him and give assistance, if
Sure.
that's possible.
You are more than welcome.
But I would have great help because, well, uneducated, logic too. But you can try.
Screwdriver. You can be the one
I
that
sent a
hangs.
message to
Oh God.
Hey guys, I sent a message to Back Alley to tell the boy that he's or she is moving to his school.
I? Why I?
I am going to do something very, very annoying.
Oh, Mana Blitzer. Oh, God. Shit.
Well, it's not that I am that old. 18 is not.
No. It's my mistake. I send a message to Mana Blitzer, not the Back Alley. Sorry.
Oh
So
God.
I'm gonna stand behind Mana Blitzer and the kid and correct the inaccuracies of magic and how it actually works.
This is great because we literally talked about PvP not that long ago. So please, you are more than welcome to fill in this situation.
Sorry, I was muted.
That's fine.
Wait,
Colonel Combat Mage.
so, I'm sorry. What was? Can you repeat the question?
So Professor has come into the living room where you and the boy, who has switched it over to English for you,
Okay.
are watching Carl Combat Mage. He has come up behind the couch and has begun to state some of the magical inaccuracies in the TV show.
Oh, okay. Great.
And then I made the
I
joke about
love that.
how PvP was just one of the things we talked about.
Okay. Yeah, about that. Well, I'm gonna choose to use this opportunity to bond with the kid a little bit more. I'm like, they always do this. Why do they always do this? All we want to do is just be left alone, and I just want to watch my show. And what do you need?
I don't need anything. You know this stuff. You're you're magically active. You're awakened. You know that is not how magic works, and you still watch the show.
Well, sometimes, sometimes it just doesn't matter. I just cross my arms and just like look at. I want to like look the kid over and see what his reaction to this happening is.
So in the beginning of the conversation, he was looking at Professor with that look of, yeah, who's this guy? And then he made the comment about you being awakened, and he kind of gets that little sparkle of wonder as he kind of looks back over to you, kind of forgetting the inaccuracies of the Carl Combat Mage. So sort of like, wait, really?
Um. Hmm. Well, you know, and as like a cantrip, I want to use my magic fingers just to turn up the volume of the TV we're watching.
Sure.
Force 12.
Quick, get 12 hits.
Yeah.
This was my intention when I did this, by the way.
Sure it was. So yeah, no, you're able to. Oh, I heard a dice roll there.
Oh.
I mean, personally, I would have suggested messing with the adult in the room, but you know, that might be just me being a jerk. But yeah, no, you're easily able to do it via the magic, and I assume you make a pretty big show of it with wiggling fingers and that kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I put my hands up in the air, spread far apart, and make this happen as grandest as I can possibly do it.
Yeah, so his eyes are gonna get really big, like, whoa! You know, they said I had magical potential, and he's looking pretty proud of himself for a person that's, you know, obviously outclassed by somebody who is actually awakened.
I'm gonna say, yeah. Well, if that's true, one day you can be just as powerful as Carl Combat Mage,
Or more.
or more.
I'm
like
gonna
me.
I'm gonna shake my head at this conversation and walk off. My job here is done.
I'm gonna ask him. So what is your what do your teachers think of you having magic potential?
He's gonna slump back in the chair as a 14-year-old does, and it's like, well, because they make me take all kinds of stupid classes about magical theory and magical threats and spirit ethics and that kind of stuff. It's so boring.
Oh no, here we go.
Boring. Yeah.
I'm just like, that's
Look at my
entirely
hand.
your attitude to magic as well.
It's just like, ugh.
I'm gonna say to him, you know, we just moved here, and I got to enroll in school as well. Do you like your teacher? What's his name?
You can make me push the button, aren't you?
It's a good button to push.
And this is a good button to push. There we go. It's Professor Blizagara. They call him the Lizard.
The lizard. I heard he got bad breath.
Duh.
Good to see that Rate My Professor is still a thing.
That was actually the name that came off of my my random name generator.
Yep.
Pretty good.
It's a doozy, right?
And I will
Glorious.
pass this information on to the Decker who's trying to help me get into school.
Yep. So he'll be pretty happy with your magical displays. Like, what else can you do? And he's not paying attention to the truth. Like, he's turned full 90 degrees on the couch and is facing you directly. What else can you do?
Well,
Did I give him braggart?
all right. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to... No, he doesn't have braggart.
Okay.
I'm going to use Trid Phantasm and create Carl Combat Mage in the living room that we're hanging out in.
Oh.
Sweet. So the rest of you guys would
Can I secretly assist him on this?
I'm not sure how that would work given the
Yeah, I don't have that spell either, so yeah, no, I can't. End of story.
if it was like you both of you guys were looking to cast like a lightning bolt at somebody, we could totally do some father son Kamehameha action.
I love the DNI conversation that's going on, by
Yeah,
the
no,
way.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just imagine 4 people coming into house without any suspicion or something like, hey, come on in, take whatever you like. Oh, no problem.
Come sit next to my impressionable teenage son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
Maybe now you understand why the Mr. Johnson was a little concerned about the safety of his household.
Well,
know,
half of the people weren't even questioned.
With a machine
Yeah.
gun in front of a front door.
You should totally edge that.
You don't need to edge it. So what do the rest of you guys want to do in this situation? You have some time, or we can just hit the scan button until Monday morning and class happens.
Well, I'm walking around the house, just making some kind of a schematics in my head or somewhere on my deck or something. I have put the data tab somewhere in the house,
Mhm.
so I have a direct connection to its cables and
Yep.
stuff, inside the house. And so as far as I don't know Spanish, I won't try to talk to this housekeeper.
It's okay. She does enough talking for the both of you.
Yeah, I guess. No, the other time I'm just spending walking around after her, looking around the house and trying to fix what's broken if it is possible, and if it's not, then I'm just, putting my hands up and saying, "Well, what the hell? I don't have any tools with me, so sorry."
So if you can just give me a quick etiquette roll, and we'll see how well that goes. Ingrid, do you want to etiquette?
Okay.
Ingrid, do you want to do anything besides come back to the house with the tools to help facilitate his repairs?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause all I'm doing is just basically just driving down the road. Whenever you want me to arrive, I'll arrive. But other than that, I can just entertain myself. Don't worry about it.
So no one met the 8-year-old.
That's what I wanted to change now. I want to look at all the rooms we come across and not actually go in.
Sure.
So, I want to check in all the rooms, actually.
So as
So
Al is being dragged around the house, you will go past one of the rooms following him, and you will catch the look of a small girl who is coloring on like laying as kids are wont to do on the ground, kicking her feet back and forth, and seems to be coloring.
Okay. That's good. Mm. Oh yeah, and I continue following around, looking in all the other rooms for whatever.
Sure.
Maybe something interesting comes up.
I suppose we can, pinpoint all the possible exits and entrances.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, you guys are more than welcome to have it. You literally own this house for the foreseeable future.
Nice. Is it a guest bedroom that we can hang out in?
There's not a guest bedroom. There's it's a 4-bedroom house. There's a master bedroom, one for each of the kids, and then a small, what would be considered a guest bedroom, but it is obviously lived in due to the housekeeper. However, we have been going for a little while, so we're probably due for another break. When we come back, we will discuss where the rest of the night will go. We will answer a couple more questions from both you guys and from the Twitch chat, and we will see what happens.